Hi, this is Paul Slack. It's Good News Planet. I'm speaking to Stephanie Oswald. Hi, Stephanie. How are you doing?
Hey, Paul. I'm doing great.
Stephanie's the editor-in-chief of Travel Girl magazine and the web correspondent for the Weather Channel, maybe still are, and a seasoned travel correspondent for CNN, report on everything from stress-relieving spa treatments and unique escapes all around the world. And we're going to talk about travel and the flu season and flu in general and all the kinds of good things that you should be wise about before you even go on a trip, because you don't want to be sick on a trip, right, Stephanie?
Absolutely, Paul. No one wants to take the flu with them because the flu is a terrible travel companion. So I have 5 recommendations, really easy things that travelers can do to stay healthy on the go.
All right. What are they?
Well, number 1, stay hydrated. Now, this sounds easy, but sometimes we get caught up in the frenzy of travel and we forget to drink enough water. So if you're flying especially, I say once you go through security, go to your gate, make sure that hasn't changed, and then head to a newsstand and pick up a bottle of water because even if you're in first class, you only get a small bottle, and you want to have a little bit of extra on hand just in case, or maybe you spill it and you need a little extra. But also, if you're back in coach where the rest of us are flying, you never know. You're not guaranteed that the flight attendant will make it to your row. So when people tell me, oh, well, I'll just get water on the plane, that's great, but the reality is to be safe, you want to stay hydrated and make sure you have your own water with you.
I remember Stephanie just gave you two tips. It was a water tip, but she also said make sure that the gate has not changed.
Exactly. I like to sneak in those extra tips along the way. Exactly. So that's number 1.
What else? Yeah.
Number 2. Always pack antibacterial wipes and hand sanitizer in your carry-on. This is something I keep in my carry-on year-round, but it's especially useful during flu season because you want to wipe down those armrests on the plane. You want to wipe down the seat back tray before you take out your computer or start eating. And if you're traveling by train or subway, you want to just use the hand sanitizer on a regular basis when you're traveling because when you're out there, it's all about having some extra protection because the germs spread so fast. And this is just an easy way to protect yourself.
Okay,
so
next one.
Number 3, vitamins. Don't take a vacation from your vitamins. If you're someone who already takes a daily vitamin, then stay on your routine. Make sure you've got maybe an extra bottle in your carry-on. It just lives there. So whenever you go on a trip, it's in there. You didn't have to remember to go to the medicine cabinet or your kitchen cabinet and take them with you. Just have the vitamins in there. And if you don't take vitamins on a regular basis, you might want to pack some vitamin C in your carry-on, whether it's the pills or the powder packets, because that can help build up your immune system. So that's number 3.
Okay. Number 4.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Here's a real serious fact here. The CDC says that no matter what we do to protect ourselves, every year 5 to 20% of the U.S. population gets the flu, and more than 200,000 people end up in the hospital because of flu-related complications. So I recommend packing something that you can use to reduce the flu symptoms the very first moment you feel them. So whether it's body aches, fever, or headaches, I travel with Acilo in my carry-on because it comes in an easy-to-pack form. It's a homeopathic medicine, so you don't need to worry about the side effects. And it comes in these really easy-to-open tiny vials. You get 6 vials in a package, and it's something that you can give to everyone in the family, ages 2 and up. So as a mom, that's really important to me too.
And so what would that'll lessen the potential of getting it, or if you got it, it makes go
No,
away
it's not
faster?
preventative. It's something that you have on hand just in case someone actually does start to see those symptoms of flu, whether it's body aches or chills or fever. It's not a preventative medication. It's something that you want to have with you so that if someone just starts feeling not themselves, then you give them the Acilo, and that's going to help them fight those symptoms and reduce the severity and hopefully get you back on track for your vacation, whether you're at Disney World or visiting grandma, wherever you are. So just really important, something else that you can have on hand to keep the flu at bay. Number 5. Last thing, before you head to the airport, make it a habit to grab a fresh pillowcase from the linen closet. My mom likes to travel with her entire pillow for comfort reasons, but, that's not always practical. So when it comes to fighting germs, an easy way to give yourself an extra layer of protection is to keep an extra pillowcase in your carry-on. And pretty much, except for the water, these are all things that you can keep in your carry-on. Just have it packed, ready to go. And maybe once a year, I also remind travelers, if you've got anything with an expiration date in your carry-on that you keep there on a regular basis, January is a great time to check the expiration dates on everything. And you can do that in your whole house, but from a travel standpoint, if you've got items in your carry-on that have expiration dates on them, you should go ahead and swap them out.
Okay, another very powerful point. Check it even right now. Flu or flueless.
Yeah.
I was reading you wrote down something here. You mentioned something about we got to all 5. Is that right, Stephanie?
We sure did. Mhm.
Okay.
But there's lots more. Those are just the top 5.
Oh, okay. How about foods that you eat? I thought I saw something about drinking soda or something that takes away from your immune system. Was that right? I never heard that one.
Well,
yeah?
People don't realize how much sugar is in soft drinks. So especially when you're traveling, it's just something, a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it too. I think I need a boost, so most of the time I'm going to head to the coffee shop or I'm going to grab my Red Bull at the newsstand along, but make sure you grab water along with it too. So it's really being smart. So really, if you want that energy boost, a lot of people will think, I'm going to go grab a Coke, but you're going to be better off in the long run if you grab some water or make yourself a vitamin C drink, or go get a fruit smoothie. Just thinking healthy, thinking about ways that you can give your body that extra immunity, because, it's that old saying, we are what we eat. So you want to put smart things into your body so that you can stay fueled. I love traveling. I think it's the greatest educator, but travel today is also an obstacle course. So you need to fuel your body up for that obstacle course. And, Paul, another thing, when it comes to the flu, it's really important to get your flu vaccine. If you've got a big trip coming up, the flu, the season lasts. We've still got a couple more months of this. So if you're planning to go somewhere, get your flu shot at least a week in advance. So you give your body a chance to build up some immunity. It's like taking a road trip and knowing that you need to get your oil changed in your car. You don't want to do that the day before the trip. You want to do it in advance so that if something goes wrong with your car, you've got time to get it fixed before you head out on the road. And if you're driving around town and you break down, that's a lot better than when you're out on I-10 or out in the middle of the highway, and then the next thing you know, you're spending your vacation in the car shop. So same thing with our bodies. You don't want to spend your vacation at the doctor's office. So take precautions and be a smart traveler.
And since you've been a worldwide traveler, the flu is the flu everywhere in the world, right? It's not, we don't have necessarily a different flu than they might have somewhere else.
There are different strains of the flu, and every year, that's why we can't, it's like with a tetanus shot, you get one tetanus shot, it lasts for 10 years. With the flu, people often say, well, why do I have to get a flu shot every single year? It's because the flu does change every year, and every year the doctors, they figure out what strains are going to be the most prevalent, and they then come up with this vaccine. But as I said, the Centers for Disease Control, they point out that no matter what they do, even if you get the flu shot, still, they spread the word. Flu shots are only $10 usually or less, and even with all of that, 5 to 20% of the U.S. population still gets the flu. So that's why it's important to protect yourself and have all these things on hand in case you do get the flu. And also just getting enough rest. Some of this comes down to just treating your body right, making sure that you get enough rest before your vacation. Don't overschedule yourself. I'm a big fan of popping in on people. If you've got a work trip and you're going to add a couple days of vacation, don't try and plan to see all 20 of your friends in one night, unless you can tell everyone to meet at a bar or meet at a restaurant and see everyone there. Don't try and run around like crazy, and then the next day you've got a really important meeting for work, so you end up staying up all night cramming or whatever the case may be. Just kind of give yourself a little bit of pace yourself.
So you don't want to have a need a vacation from your vacation, you mean?
Everyone always says that. It always makes me sad because it's true. We come back and we're just like, oh gosh, I put everything off and now I can't. And that's why it's also important. I want to put a plug out there for travel agents. If you are someone who, we work hard, we play hard, And a lot of times people think, well, I'll just take care of everything myself for my vacation. Number one, if you're traveling with your family members or a group of girlfriends or guys going on a mancation, get everyone involved. Don't take everything on yourself. So delegate. Have one person in charge of finding a hotel, have another person in charge of the budget, have another person in charge of getting theater tickets. Like, don't do everything yourself if you're able to do that. That's just really important, just to kind of share all of the work. And then also, if you are able to if you've got enough time, find a recommendation for a travel agent, or get a recommendation from someone at work, or even go online to ASTA, the American Society of Travel Agents, and find someone in your area. Let them help you, because that is their full-time job. They get deals on their desk all the time. They are going to know what to do. And also, if there is a problem, then you've got someone to call. So it saves you, again, you don't want to spend your vacation on the phone.
Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. You got to call somebody that knows what they're doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Stephanie, you always have such very good information, and I want to repeat that, you're the expert, travel expert, and editor-in-chief of Travel Girl magazine. How do people get Travel Girl magazine? I know there's a wealth of knowledge in there.
That's such a great question, Paul. Thanks for asking. Well, right now, it's exciting for Travel Girl. We have a digital app that you can download, the Travel Girl app, and it's just a few dollars, and that'll give you every issue for the whole year. And that's really, it's one of the ways that technology has changed every aspect of travel, whether it's downloading your plane ticket, being able to scan your iPhone at the gate instead of having to print out a boarding pass, or downloading a magazine like Travel Girl. You just were able to do so much with our technology. So really important to think about things like that. And what I love about having the digital version of things is that when you are in a place that has Wi-Fi, which so many airports do these days, or, you get on the plane and get on GoGo and you're going to go ahead and get hooked up for your flight, you click on these links in the digital version of everything, and the next thing you know, you're planning your next trip, or you're checking out ideas for your next vacation. And it's really been wonderful for everyone just to be able to do so much more, to be more productive when you're traveling.
Stephanie has a ton of travel information. Just call Stephanie. She'll straighten everything up with.
Yeah, tweet me at Travel Girl Steph, and I'll try and answer all your questions. It's Travel Girl.
There you go. Fantastic. Last question, Stephanie. What's good news for you?
Good news for me is it's carnival season in New Orleans, and that means a lot of fun. So come on down and visit us.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Stephanie. Always a pleasure. Thanks.
Take care, Paul.
Take care. All righty, you too. Bye-bye.